All right, guys, let's talk about a subject today that's near and dear to many a floor nurse's heart. That is, why are travel nurses, why are they so hated among the floor nurses? Why are they so hated? Many think it's, because they show up and get paid on average $45 more an hour. That's not saying they get paid $45 an hour. No. That means they get paid $45 more an hour on average. So let's just say an average floor nurse in your area makes $30 an hour. A travel nurse makes the original 30, then makes an additional 45, total of $75 an hour, whereas you're making 30 an hour, they're making double and then a half of that, 2.5 times what you are making. Yes, that is definitely room for some disagreements. Many travel nurses show up and they're like, hey, you know what, here I am today, and get paid 2.5 times what you make. That is a big deal. A lot of travel nurses are given terrible assignments simply because, they're not there with the floor nurses and they're getting paid 2.5 times, and many of the floor nurses are like, hey, you're getting paid for it, you might as well work for it. And this then causes further disagreements, whereas the floor nurses are jealous of the amount of money that they're making. The travel nurses are probably upset that they're getting dumped on with their terrible assignments that they get, making $45 more an hour on average. This causes more disagreements, all related to the fact that they're getting paid so much more. There's a ridiculous amount of more money that they are getting paid than the regular floor nurse. Travel nurses are a good thing, and the nurse themselves are not bad people. I don't know that I've ever worked with a travel nurse who was a bad individual, who was there to harm someone or anything like that. I've never worked with anyone like that. In general, they're good people. It's just when you start adding 2.5 times your regular salary into what they make, that's going to cause some jealousy. It's going to cause a lot of different things. And then, not only that, but the floor nurses are also sort of mad at management for this, because you could have 2 additional nurses making the same base salary of, let's say again, $30. You could have the $30, you could hire one nurse that makes, the travel nurse regular pay, and then another nurse that makes the $30 extra what you got going on, with $15 more sort of to spare or to pass out between the 3 of them, and create 3 $35 an hour positions. And so these regular floor nurses are now mad at management. And who do they take it out on? Take it out on the floor nurse. Why? Because they're there. I have seen firsthand disagreements between floor nurse and travel nurse. I have seen disagreements between them several times, and they always seem to be coming from a place of ill placement, maybe, because there's so much more anger in different directions that should be going other ways rather than towards that nurse. As I said, that nurse is probably not a bad individual, probably not a mean person. It's just, dang, y'all make so much more money, and we're jealous, and management's not listening, and they send us a travel nurse rather than 3 more nurses, which would have solved all the problems, probably helped keep staff in general. So anger's ill-placed, but it does happen, and floor nurses and travel nurses tend to not hang out, tend to not get along. Sometimes they do, but they tend to not. And I have heard myself firsthand, not from me, but from one of my charge nurses actually said, I'm not helping her. She gets paid 2.5 times more than I do. She needs to do it herself. Talking about a travel nurse. I have heard that from a charge nurse. And, are they wrong? Not really. But management's who we should be mad at, but management doesn't listen. They just don't. Hope it helps. Thank you much.